Hello and welcome to Knowledge by Nature. In today's video, I'm taking you with me on another planning video. So we've just taken a big break. Actually, if you've been following me along, then we took about a 10-day break. And so we're just kind of jumping in, and this will be our first full week back. And so I did very brief planning for like the week of the 5th through the 9th. And then I made myself all sorts of notes on things that I was thinking about while we were on break and things like that. But this is our next full week back, and I've already kind of started inputting a lot of things, and a lot of that came from what we were doing previously. So if you've missed any of those videos, you're interested in seeing more of the way that I have planned, I have a planning playlist, and I'll link it down below in the description. But we're looking at Valentine's Day week here, and it's also where my life starts getting really, really busy. So I'm not only having to plan for the week, but I'm also having to reevaluate our schedule and kind of plan our schedule out. Most of the time, whether you are a new homeschooler, old homeschooler, you will quickly learn that there is no year, no month, no week that's ever the same with homeschool. And that's the beauty of it, is that you can adjust it for your needs. I am going to be very, very busy for about the next 8 weeks at least. And so I am going to need to set some time aside that I'm unavailable, sort of. I am available, but I'm not at the same time, if that makes sense. And so we're really, really going to be focusing on independent work again. And she did great at this at the beginning of the year because we had a whole nother life season event that changed, and I'll be sharing soon on like kind of a life update, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I'm rambling. We're gonna be really, really busy, and so I need to create a day that allows me to work and do things, but also homeschool, and also provide time for her to like do independent work. And this is kind of a bigger planning week in the fact that I do need to schedule some stuff, because I need to be able to have time so that I can just independently work on some things that I have. And then I need to have it to where she can also get some school done while I'm working. So that is what we're going to be working on really hard this week, is setting up that schedule so that everything gets done and we all stay sane. So that is the plan. I don't know that it is a smart move, but it is a move that I am making. We are actually starting quite a few new things this week. So not only are we coming back from a break, we are having a whole new like life schedule change thing. And then, I just don't know if it's a good idea, but that's what we're doing nonetheless. So we are starting. So just briefly, a few of the things that I am starting is a new novel study, which I've had this kind of in the works for a while, but I found a novel study for that. Then we're going to be starting Word Roots, which is like a workbook that I think for the most part can be done independently. And there are a lot of things that kind of like Monday, we will work on quite a few things, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it would be independent work. And I think that's where this will come in at, but we'll just have to see for sure since I haven't used it before. So I also went ahead and I did myself a favor and I printed a bunch of the sheets that I was going to need. So any sheets that we're going to be using for Redwood Literacy, I already have them printed off in my super sparkly folder. So I have a lot of resources that I've already printed that are in here. So all of my Redwood Literacy things are in there. Something else that we're going to be starting is by the Stellar Teacher Company. I really like the things that I have gotten from her. Teachers Pay Teachers just had a big 25% off sale or something like that. And so Stellar Teacher Company was having a sale, and then I got the extra 5%. And so I think it worked out to I got 25% off, but really I want to focus on writing and language arts components for the rest of the year. Like that's something I really, really want to focus on. Math, we have it down. We're good. We just keep going with that. But this is one I really want to start focusing more on. And so this is like a Monday through Friday thing. So she'll look at the picture here and then she'll answer these questions. Who was doing what, where, and then depending on all those answers, she will complete a sentence here. Then on Tuesday, using the same information that she used above, she'll write a statement, question, command, and exclamation. And then there is some fragment work, some combining sentences, and then a sentence scramble. Now, depending on Friday, I think I'll use our little mini writables a lot for that, but that's not what we're doing right now. Then we have our little rover that we are reading, and that is with Ideas by Jivey. So we have our everything that I need printed off on that. We're reading way ahead, but that's okay. We'll have read it and we'll be able to reference all of these things. And then here you can see I already printed off what I would need for Redwood Literacy. So one thing is I'm going to have to be more organized to make sure that we are successful. So I'm going to have to not wing it so much and have more of a set plan. And again, it's not always like that. Sometimes, as you have probably seen, if you've been with me very long, we're very kind of go with the flow sort of thing. But during seasons like this, where I really, really need a schedule, then we don't go with the flow quite so much. We're a little bit more rigid, still have fun, everything's still good, but I will stick to the plan better versus kind of, ooh, this sounds good, let's go loosey-goosey over there, just because I don't have time to get distracted as much. All right, let's see, what else do we have? All right, figurative language. We are going to continue with that. We're moving over into similes and metaphors. I'm not doing multiple ones anymore. I'm just gonna do one a week, and so we'll read the dancing hands and we'll talk about this. All right, moving over into history, we will be reading out of America's Story. And so we will be doing chapter 6 out of this sometime during the week. And that is something I'm going to need to work on, is the scheduling for that. Like, what day do I want to set aside to do history? And then I also want to do one of our little pockets out of here to kind of go with both of these things right here. So these two are complementing each other really nicely. And I'm going to be doing a video on these two because I think they're really cool. Moving over into our knot grass. So again, I'm only going to be doing one state. I was there for a short time doing like 2 states, but I'm only going to do 1 state. And so for next week, that will be lesson 11. And that's something else that I'm doing, is I'm noting down what lesson we are doing, just to help me keep kind of things in order. So we will do lesson 1, where we're talking about Connecticut. And then she will have her little illustrated geographic term in her workbook. And then we've also finished Rabbit Hill. We finished that, so I don't have to worry about that. And then a different day, we will do the story and song, where she will also do a little map activity with the Atlas workbook. We really aren't doing any of this extra stuff except the readers. But like I said, we did finish that. And I'm only going to be focusing on 1 state a week right now. All right, back to the planner. Let's see what I've got here. So moving over here, we have the novel study. So she is going to start reading The Last Bear by Hannah Gold. And there was a little bit of pre-reading involved. Not pre-reading of the book, but just kind of like looking at the cover and getting some ideas about what you think the story is going to be about. And so she did that earlier this week. And so starting next week, she will read a chapter, and then she will have 1 page usually to do. Sometimes there are a few more. I went ahead and printed to chapter 5 just because I was printing a few, so I just went ahead and did it. I probably should have printed the whole thing. But you can see that there's, for chapter 1, some questioning where she's going to be writing some who, what, when, where, why, how sort of thing. And then there are different things for like chapter 2 where we're doing some comprehension. We're doing a little bit of vocabulary. I really like this. Again, this is another one I got from Teachers Pay Teachers. And I think I'm going to like this one a lot. I hope she enjoys it too. So this would just be our folder for that novel study. And so I may have her either design a cover for this based on like the book, or I'll just make a copy of the cover of the book and put on here. And that way it's really clear what that is. All right, moving over into spelling. We actually did our All About Spelling lesson today that will go along with our spelling connections. So today is Friday when I'm filming this. So we finished that up, and now we will have 4 days and more if we want it that we can spend with spelling connections. And so here we will be looking at the long O sound with OW, OA, and O. We've covered all 3 of those sounds now, so now we will just use all of these pages to complete next week. And I do like the words that are in spelling connection more than I did the All About Spelling, because they were more of like shorter words, where here we're dealing with like tomato, window, ocean, almost. I just kind of like some of these words a little bit better. And so that's really good. So we'll put those in, and that will be our spelling for 4 days next week. And if you're interested to see how we mesh those 2 together, I just recently did a video where it was a whole week of spelling. So be sure and check that out if you're interested. All right, Fix-It Grammar. So that is another one where Monday we will kind of have like a teaching together sort of thing. And then the whole rest of the week, it will be independent work. So that's really nice for these things right here. We are also, like I said, starting word roots. So we're going to be doing lesson 1 where we are talking about roots. And I believe this is going to be, let's see here. I think this is going to be a 4-day from what I can tell. So we'll have kind of the lesson that we'll work on together, and then she'll have a quick little activity right here. This is for grades 3 to 4, but I did hear that it gets advanced pretty quickly. So I did want to do the 3 to 4, and then for like Tuesday, she'll have some independent work right here. Wednesday, a little bit of independent work here, and then on Thursday or Friday, a little quick section. So you can see how it will go really, really quickly, but it's something super easy that she can do independently after that first day. Something that I actually kind of pulled out right before our break was this Daily 6 Trait Writing from Evan Moore. This is grade 3, but I kind of like what they're doing, and so we are just going to, they're really quickly. Let me show you. She's just going to continue this, and it's just kind of talking about organizing and beginning, middle, and end, something we're already kind of working with. Because this is grade 3, she can do it independently without any instruction from me, really. So I'll kind of, the first day we'll kind of go through it briefly, and then she'll be able to just kind of take off with this. And so this is just something that, again, I'm focusing on those writing components, and that's a good thing to throw in there. Other things that we're going to be doing for writing is, again, that sentence writing that I showed you already with the Stellar Teacher Company. And then I also have a few extras here. And so what those are is, let's see here. I have some of my things from Beowulf Grammar. So I printed this to where there would be 2 on 1 page. Article adjectives we've already talked about through Fix-It Grammar, but I wanted to put this in her little 4th grade notebook. So what I'll do is we'll just kind of read through these, have it in there, and then I am going to have her put something here, put the little articles, and then over here is another one where she will circle the article adjectives, a, an, and the. And that's just a good way to kind of practice those things. It's really cute and independent work. And then I also wanted to do this one where we are talking about adjectives. So we will probably talk about adjectives first, and then maybe article adjectives. And then what we will do is put this in her notebook, and we may do a couple of these over the week. So here you can see adjectives describing apples. So she could put what kind, which one, how many, whose, my sentence, and then she would write a sentence about that apple. So here she could do one of these a day, and that would be a really good way to work on our sentence organization, making sure that we are answering these sort of questions, which is also tying in a little bit with this Redwood literacy. So it's all kind of like together, but they're all from separate things. So I'm just tying in a lot of the things that I have with what we're talking about. Whew, okay, that's a lot. Or it feels like a lot. So I have right here our independent work. So we've been doing like a morning journal, and it's just her little journal. I don't have it with me right now. It's hers. But just kind of like free writing, like whatever she wants to write. If she had something she wanted to talk about, one of her sports, or a play date with a friend, or whatever she wanted, that would be part of like some independent work to kind of get the writing process started, a little bit of free writing. And then she really, really loves to draw a story. So what this is you have this scene, and she named her little character at the beginning of the book here, and it just prompts them to do different things. And so they'll add in different parts of the story. It shows them how to like draw different things, and then you just kind of follow along and do what it says. But she really likes this. Here she got really, really colorful this day. But again, it's just a different way to approach some writing and some drawing, and completely independent. And so that I have there, cursive. Again, independent work. I don't need to help her with this. She's got it. So she knows, she just goes to the next page, does it, and then I will of course check all of this. Then I have the sentence work, which again is going to be independent after I kind of walk her through it the first week. I think that first week I'll need to just kind of help her a little bit, but overall that will be very, very independent. So my plan is to take this little notebook that we have, and I'm just going to put Monday, and I'm going to list all of the things that I want her to do, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the whole thing. And then that way she can check it off and go. And she has done this in the past, so I know that she can do this, and we're a whole year older almost from where she was like kind of completely independently doing some things. Oh, I did forget to mention we will be doing science. And so I had been, again, working with that scheduling, I had been trying to do history and science on the same day. I was noticing already before this week that I wasn't being very thorough with my science when I was trying to do history too, because I love history. That's what I want to do, especially American history. I'm digging doing that. And so that's what I want to put all my energy and resource into. And if we're doing both of these on the same day, this is going to get a lot of my energy, and this is not going to get as much. So I'm going back to the way I used to always do it, where I would loop it. And how I do that is, first day we would do history, the next day we would do science, the next day we would do history, the next day we would do a science. So these would be hit 2 times a week, and that's the way I need to probably stick to it, because it's a better lesson when I do that. But to each their own. It works however it may work, but for me personally, I do better when these are separated. So yes, that is for next week. We'll be doing the moon and the sun for our science. And so these will both be a different day. Now, obviously history and science are not independent things. Those are things that after I'm done doing my morning work, that we will come together and we will work together in the afternoon. Same thing with dimensions math. That is not an independent subject. That is definitely a work with mom subject. Now we could do the lesson together. I could have her do all the lesson and then assign, and then I could go off and do what I needed to do while she did the workbook. But same thing with knot grass. Those are things that we're going to do together. So most things we are going to do together. Redwood literacy, we're doing that together. Rover, we're doing that together. Except one sheet she can probably do independently. But that is where we come into, not everything is going to be in here. So I'm not going to have math in here and her check it off, because that's a together thing. So I'm only going to write the independent work in here. Now, one thing I want to keep in mind while I am kind of creating all of these things is, one, our schedule besides my personal schedule. So I know that I'm going to be busy, but also what are we doing? I mean, our lives aren't stopping for everything else. So we have co-op, and we have basketball, and we have art, and we have different things that we're doing throughout the week. So I need to keep those things in mind as well as I'm scheduling things out. So Monday, we don't have anything until late in the evening, so I'm pretty good to kind of schedule everything out. Now, the first thing that I'm gonna do is just her chores. So that way it'll just be right up at the top as a friendly reminder to do these things. All right, and something she really liked last time is that I would just make a little like box with my highlighter, and then she would go in there and check it off. Now with these daily chores, she can do these in whatever order that she wants. They just need to be done. So if she wants to play outside first, she can do that. It doesn't really matter, but they just have to be done. Then I will make a section for independent work. Also, I will want to make sure that I just kind of vary the thing. So like maybe not draw a story every single day, although she loves this and probably will want to do this every single day for a little bit. So for the first week, I may just have this as a daily thing because she really, really does like it. But after that, I'll probably do it every other just so that it does stay super fresh and fun. And if I did take out the draw a story, I would add something else in with it, like maybe typing or something like that. So I'm just gonna start myself with 4 boxes and start listing things out here. All right, so this is what I have for February 12th for right now. So this will be on Monday, so I have her daily chores, and then this is all of her independent work. Now, these things will go really, really quickly, and here I have draw a story 1 scene because she would do a lot if she was just sitting down here like independently doing her thing. Something I thought that I could rotate this out with is typing. And so I need to make myself a note so I don't forget that. But there's a few more things that I don't have listed, like the adjective sheet, the article adjectives, things like that. And then of course, Fix It Grammar will be in here on Tuesday, but it's not on here today. So the root words, word roots, that will go on Tuesday and things like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start doing for the rest of the week and just see if I get everything kind of fit in here and how it's looking. Now, depending on your student, this may not be a possible thing for you to do. But it is just kind of an idea of how you could slowly start using something like this to get some independent work done. Because whether it's you have work to do, or maybe you just need to like set aside some time to do some laundry or prep for dinner, you could go ahead and have some independent work set aside for those older students, or for a student that is just able to handle something like that. So I am going to keep working here, and then I will kind of show you what I come up with at the end, as well as I'm going to try to schedule out what I'm planning to do what day. That way I don't have to think on Monday, should I do history or should I do science? So that's what I'm planning to do. All right, I think I've got it. So I have February 12th, 13th, 14th, and then 16th. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thursday is not in there because that is co-op. So anything that we would probably do would be together time versus independent work. And so Friday I also left a little bit, like I'm not really sure on a few things. And so I didn't completely move everything over, but I think that is a really good start. And then we can just kind of, modify as we go or as needed to see if this works. So I don't want to get too crazy with it yet. We may need to make some changes. And as far as my scheduling, I have decided that I'm going to do history and not grass on Monday and Tuesday. Valentine's Day is Wednesday, and so I have that we'll do science on Wednesday, and then I think we will do science and our one figurative language on Friday. And then everything else is just kind of 4 days a week. And so I will try to get as much stuff done in the first 4 days as possible. And then, Thursday being co-op, I don't know for sure how much we'll get done. So we'll just kind of see how that goes, but anything that doesn't get done on Thursday gets moved over to Friday. And so the first 3 days we hit pretty hard. We get everything as much as we can done, and then we move over into later in the week. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. As you can see, it is different than normal, especially adding in all of this independent work and scheduling, and just getting a little bit more strict with the scheduling. So that is just something for me personally that I have to do in order to make sure everything gets done. So there are seasons where we are very, very flexible and we just do whatever. But then there are also seasons where I just have to be a little bit more rigid with the way things work to make sure that we school and get everything done. So If you enjoyed this video, consider giving me a thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button, and if you're interested in any of the other videos I mentioned, be sure and check out that description below. Have a great day. Thanks.